The Valerian ship Eternal Light emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Sol system, its quantum engines pulsing with a soft azure glow. Fleet Commander Iris Tuvil stood on the bridge, her crystalline skin refracting starlight, as she studied the unremarkable yellow star and its planets. The Valerian Federation had spent centuries searching for other advanced civilizations, hoping to find allies against the growing threat of the Dominion Empire. "Preliminary scans complete, Commander," announced Science Director Kiln, their neural pathways glowing with data streams. Third planet shows signs of primitive industrialization, basic satellite network, fossil fuel dependency, limited space presence, technology level. Pre-FTL, approximately level 2 on the Galactic development scale. Iris's multifaceted eyes dimmed with disappointment. Another developing world, barely worth the energy spent reaching it. How primitive are we talking about, Director? Their most advanced computers still use quantum silicon hybrid architecture, space presence limited to their moon and a small station on Mars. They haven't even mastered fusion power yet. Keln's tendrils rippled with what passed for amusement among their species. Though I must admit, they've shown remarkable resilience for their development stage. "Any sign of the energy signature that brought us here?" Iris asked, mandibles clicking softly. "Negative, Commander. The burst that caught our attention remains unexplained. It briefly suggested capabilities far beyond anything in our database." Iris gestured with her upper limbs, a sign of contemplation. "Take us in closer. Standard stealth protocols. Let's observe these primitives before making any decisions." The Eternal Light glided silently through the system, its advanced cloaking technology making it invisible to what they assumed were Earth's primitive sensors. They passed Mars, noting with mild interest the small research outposts dotting its surface. Everything matched their expectations of a young civilization taking its first steps into space, until they reached Earth's moon. "Commander," Kelm's voice carried an edge of alarm. "Energy spiked at." A brilliant beam of coherent light lanced out from the moon's surface, striking the Valerian ship with surgical precision. Their supposedly impenetrable shields collapsed instantly. Impossible. Iris's crystalline skin flashed with patterns of shock and disbelief. How did they even detect us? Before anyone could respond, a calm human voice filled their bridge, speaking perfect universal standard. "Unidentified vessel, you have entered restricted space. Your stealth systems, while impressive, are based on principles we transcended millennia ago. Power down and prepare for escort. Any hostile action will result in immediate defensive measures." The bridge crew stared at their commander in stunned silence. Iris's mind raced. Everything they knew about Earth suggested a primitive civilization, yet they'd just been effortlessly disabled by weapons technology that shouldn't exist for at least another 1,000 years of development. Kelm's neural pathways pulsed erratically as they scanned the lunar surface. "Commander, I'm detecting extensive underground complexes, advanced power signatures, and technology that doesn't match anything in our database. The primitive satellites, the basic infrastructure we detected, it's all a facade." Another energy signature bloomed on their sensors, and a sleek vessel emerged from the moon's shadow. Its design was unlike anything they'd ever seen, somehow both ancient and impossibly advanced. "Final warning," the human voice stated. "Power down in 10 seconds, or we will be forced to demonstrate capabilities beyond the simple warning shot you just received." As Iris gave the order to comply, she realized their mission had suddenly become far more interesting than anyone could have anticipated. They hadn't found primitive allies to protect from the Dominion Empire. They'd found something far more intriguing. A civilization that had deliberately hidden its true nature from the galaxy. The Eternal Light was escorted to a massive underground facility beneath the lunar surface. As Iris and her senior staff were led through corridors that seemed to phase between ancient and modern technology, they were greeted by Fleet Admiral James Henderson, his weathered face bearing the weight of centuries of secrets. "Welcome to Lunar Base Omega," he said, his voice matching the one that had addressed them earlier. "I apologize for the deception, but we found it necessary to maintain certain appearances." "Why?" Iris asked, her crystalline form still vibrating from the encounter. "Why hide such advancement from the galaxy?" Henderson's eyes carried a depth that spoke of ancient wisdom. "Because, Commander Tuvil, someone had to be first. Someone had to see what happens when civilizations reach for the stars. And someone had to ensure that the cycle doesn't repeat itself." As holographic displays sprang to life around them, showing the galaxy as it had appeared millions of years ago, Iris and her crew began to understand that they hadn't just discovered a hidden civilization. They had stumbled upon the architects of galactic history itself. Fleet Admiral Henderson led the Valerian delegation through a series of chambers that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Quantum-locked corridors shifted between states of matter, while ancient machinery hummed with power that predated most civilizations. 5 million years ago, Henderson began activating a holographic display that filled the chamber. Humanity achieved faster than light travel. We were the first, or at least the first to survive our own advancement. The display showed Earth as it had once been, surrounded by massive orbital structures that dwarfed anything the Valerians had ever seen. Iris Tuvil watched in amazement as the hologram depicted humanity's early expansion across the galaxy. But this contradicts everything we know about galactic history. All our archaeological evidence suggests exactly what we wanted it to suggest, interrupted Dr. River Blackwood, Earth's chief of xenorchaeology, entering the chamber. Her dark eyes reflected the ancient star maps as she manipulated the holographic controls with practiced ease. Every artifact, every ancient ruin your people have discovered was carefully placed to create a specific narrative. Kelm's neural pathways pulsed with confusion. "You falsified the entire archaeological record of the galaxy." "Why?" "Because we saw the pattern," River explained, bringing up images of long-dead civilizations. "Every species that achieves interstellar travel follows the same path. Expansion, colonization, empire. It's written into the very fabric of technological advancement." The hologram shifted to show a devastating war that had occurred eons ago. Henderson's voice grew solemn. "We weren't immune. Humanity split into factions. The war that followed nearly destroyed everything. That's when we made our choice. Instead of conquering the galaxy," River continued, "we decided to become its guardians. We seeded worlds with life, guided evolution, prepared the galaxy for the emergence of new intelligent species. Then we withdrew, hiding our true nature, watching, waiting." Eris studied the humans with her multifaceted eyes. "But why reveal yourselves to us now?" Before Henderson could answer, emergency signals flashed throughout the facility. Lieutenant Commander Raven Wong burst into the chamber, her neural implants streaming data directly to the facility's systems. "Admiral, we're detecting multiple Dominion warships entering the Arcturus sector. They're following the same energy signature that led the Valerians here." "How many?" Henderson asked, his expression grim. 300 ships, sir. Full invasion fleet." Iris's crystalline form pulsed with alarm. "The Dominion? They're supposed to be months away from reaching our territory." "They detected the same energy pulse we've been tracking," River explained, bringing up a new holographic display. "An ancient beacon activated by the recent expansion. One of many failsafes we put in place millions of years ago." "You wanted them to come," Keln realized, their neural pathways brightening with understanding. "You wanted to force a confrontation." Henderson nodded. "The Dominion Empire represents exactly what we've spent millions of years preventing. A young race drunk on their own power, seeking to dominate all others. We've watched them destroy 12 civilizations in the past solar year alone. It ends here." Massive doors opened at the far end of the chamber, revealing a vast underground hangar. Iris and her crew gasped as they saw what lay within. Hundreds of ships, their design an impossible fusion of ancient and advanced technology, waited in perfect formation. But these weren't ordinary vessels. They were the stuff of legend, the kind of technology that featured in myths and children's stories. The Guardian Fleet, River said softly, maintained and upgraded over millions of years, waiting for the moment they would be needed again. Commander Tuvil, Henderson turned to Iris, his expression serious. We're offering your people a choice. You can leave now, return to your Federation, and continue believing in the comfortable lie of a young galaxy filled with emerging civilizations. Or you can stay and learn why humanity chose to become the hidden guardians of the galaxy's future. Iris looked at her science director, seeing her own curiosity reflected in Keln's neural patterns. After millions of years of hiding, humanity was finally revealing its true nature. The question was, were the galaxy's younger races ready for the truth? A new alarm echoed through the facility. Raven's neural implants flashed with urgent data. Admiral, the Dominion fleet has altered course. They're heading directly for Earth. Henderson's expression hardened. They must have detected the activation of the Guardian fleet. Well, it seems the choice has been made for us. He turned to Iris. Commander Tuvil, humanity has watched over the galaxy's civilizations since before your ancestors left their oceans. Now, we're asking for your help in protecting them. Will you stand with us? Iris's crystalline form shimmered with determination as she made her decision. The galaxy was about to discover why humanity had remained hidden for so long, and why some legends are better left undisturbed. The lunar facility trembled as ancient systems awakened. Throughout the underground complex, technology that had slumbered for millennia hummed to life. Admiral Henderson stood at the command center, surrounded by holographic displays showing the approaching Dominion fleet. Time to intercept, he'd asked. Lieutenant Commander Raven's neural implants pulsed. 4 hours, sir. They're pushing their drives beyond safety limits. Interesting. Their energy signatures suggest they've reverse-engineered some precursor technology. Our precursor technology, River corrected, her fingers dancing through holographic controls. Though they've barely scratched the surface of its true capabilities. Commander Tuvil watched in fascination as the Guardian fleet powered up. Each ship was unique, bearing the marks of different eras of human advancement. Some appeared almost organic. Others seemed to bend space around them in impossible ways. You said humanity split into factions. Keln observed, their neural pathways pulsing with curiosity. What happened to those who wanted to continue expanding? Henderson's expression darkened. They became a cautionary tale. The Starbreakers, we call them. They believed humanity had the right to shape the galaxy as they saw fit. He brought up an ancient star map showing a massive void in space. That region used to contain thousands of inhabited worlds. Now it's empty. That's what happens when a civilization wields power without wisdom. Alarms blared through the facility. Sir, Raven called out, the Dominion fleet has launched probes toward Earth. They're scanning for defensive systems. Let them scan, River smiled. Everything they see will be exactly what we want them to see. On the main display, hundreds of small objects streaked toward Earth. Each probe emitted complex scanning beams, searching for signs of advanced technology. Instead, they found only what appeared to be a primitive civilization. Fossil fuel power plants, basic satellites, and rudimentary defense systems. Commander Tuvil, Henderson turned to the Valerian leader. Your ship's quantum communications array, can it reach your Federation? Iris's crystalline form pulsed with affirmation. Yes, though it will take several hours for the message to arrive. Good, because what happens here today will change the galaxy forever. Your people should witness it. The facility shuddered as massive doors opened in the lunar surface. The Guardian fleet rose from their ancient berths, each vessel a testament to millions of years of human innovation. But these weren't the precise, elegant ships that had disabled the Valerian vessel. These were something else entirely. The Dominion believes themselves to be masters of war, River explained, bringing up tactical displays. They've conquered 12 systems in a year, after all. But they've never faced a species that had millions of years to prepare for them. Kelm's neural pathways flashed with sudden understanding. The civilizations they conquered, you let them fall. Henderson nodded grimly. Sometimes the hardest part of being the guardian is knowing when not to intervene. Each of those civilizations will rebuild. They'll be stronger for the experience. But the Dominion, he gestured at the approaching fleet. They need to learn why some forces in the galaxy are better left undisturbed. Dominion fleet is launching their first wave, Raven reported. 3,000 attack craft, standard conquest formation. They're broadcasting their usual demands for surrender. Put it on speakers, Henderson ordered. A harsh voice filled the command center. Primitive world, you have been chosen to join the glorious Dominion Empire. Your resistance is futile. Your technology is inferior. Submit now and... Henderson cut the transmission with a wave of his hand. Humanity spent millions of years ensuring that younger races could develop without interference from advanced civilizations. We guided evolution, seeded worlds, created the conditions for life to flourish. And we did it all while keeping our true nature hidden. He turned to Iris and Kelm. Would you like to understand why? Before they could respond, the Dominion fleet opened fire. Thousands of energy beams streaked toward Earth, enough firepower to crack the planet's crust. But instead of devastating impacts, something impossible happened. The beams simply vanished. Quantum void shields, River explained casually. We developed them 4 million years ago. The energy is being redirected to power our defensive systems. The Guardian fleet moved into formation, their ancient hulls beginning to glow with power that defied conventional physics. Henderson's voice carried the weight of millions of years as he gave the order. Show them why humanity chose to hide. What followed would be remembered for generations to come. The void between Earth and its moon erupted with light as the Guardian fleet engaged. The Dominion's front line of attack craft vanished in an instant, not destroyed, but simply ceased to exist, their matter and energy dispersed safely across multiple dimensions. By the first stars, Iris whispered, her crystalline form pulsing with awe. What are we witnessing? The result of 5 million years of controlled advancement, River explained, monitoring the battle through neural interfaces far more sophisticated than anything the Valerians had ever seen. We learned long ago that the most powerful weapons aren't those that destroy, but those that preserve. On the main display, the Guardian fleet moved with impossible grace. Each ship operated not as an individual vessel, but as part of a vast, interconnected consciousness. Where the Dominion fleet fired traditional energy weapons, the Guardian ships responded with technologies that seemed to rewrite the laws of physics themselves. Target analysis complete, Raven reported, her neural implants streaming battle data. The Dominion ships are using reverse-engineered technology from the artifacts we left them. Crude implementations, but dangerous to developing worlds. Henderson nodded grimly. Show them the difference between finding tools and understanding them. At his command, the Guardian fleet initiated their primary defense systems. Space itself seemed to ripple as ancient machines, dormant for millions of years, awakened. A soft golden light emanated from Earth's moon, expanding outward in a perfect sphere. What's happening? Kelm asked, their neural pathways flickering with mixed fear and fascination. We're initiating a localized temporal stasis field, River explained. The Dominion fleet is about to experience a small demonstration of why humanity chose to become guardians rather than conquerors. The golden sphere engulfed the Dominion fleet. Their ships froze in space, trapped in a moment of time. Henderson's voice carried across the command center. Lieutenant Commander Raven, initiate the Prometheus Protocol. The Guardian fleet's formation shifted, creating a complex geometric pattern. Energy began flowing between the ships, forming a lattice of pure light. Within the temporal stasis field, the Dominion fleet's technology began to regress. Their weapons dissipated, their engines reverted to more primitive forms, and their stolen precursor technology simply dissolved. You're not destroying them. Iris realized, watching the process with her multifaceted eyes. "You're teaching them. Every species must learn," River said softly. "The Dominion believed they had mastered technologies they barely understood. Now they'll remember what it means to be young." The stasis field dissolved, leaving the Dominion fleet intact but fundamentally changed. Their mighty warships had been transformed into more basic vessels, their weapons reduced to simple defensive systems. In their confusion, a new transmission cut through their communications. "Children of the Dominion," Henderson's voice echoed across space. "You have forgotten the most important lesson of evolution. Power without wisdom leads only to destruction. Return to your worlds. Rebuild. Learn. And remember this day not as a defeat, but as a beginning." The Dominion fleet, faced with technology they couldn't comprehend and power they couldn't match, began a hasty retreat. But before they could engage their diminished engines, another signal reached them, and every other civilization in range. "To all species who seek to dominate others," the message began, transmitted simultaneously in every known language. "Know that humanity has watched and guided life in this galaxy since before your ancestors first gazed at the stars. We chose seclusion not out of fear, but out of hope for what you might become." Eris turned to Henderson, her crystalline form shimmering with revelation. "The energy pulse that led us here, the Dominion's expansion, you orchestrated all of it." River smiled. "We are the gardeners of civilization, Commander Tuvol. Sometimes a garden needs pruning for new growth to flourish." As the Dominion fleet disappeared into hyperspace, Henderson activated a final series of holographic displays. They showed thousands of worlds, each harboring life at various stages of development. "This was always about more than just stopping an empire," he explained. "It's time for humanity to resume our role as active guardians. The question is, will the Valerian Federation stand with us?" The fate of a galaxy hung on Iris's answer. 1 year after the Dominion incident, the Sol system had become the center of a transformed galaxy. The lunar facility, now known as the Guardian Nexus, hosted representatives from over 1,000 civilizations. Commander Iris Tuvol, now serving as the Valerian ambassador to Earth, stood beside Admiral Henderson as they watched ships from across the galaxy dock at the massive space station that had suddenly appeared in Earth's orbit. "The younger races are adapting well to the truth," Iris observed, her crystalline form reflecting the stars, "though some still struggle with the revelation." "Change is never easy," Henderson replied, watching as a delegation from the reformed Dominion Empire arrived. Their ships, now powered by technology they truly understood, were simpler but built with genuine innovation. "But it's necessary." Dr. River Blackwood entered the observation deck, her neural interfaces synchronizing with the station's systems. "The assembly is ready to begin, Admiral." The great chamber of the Guardian Nexus held representatives from every known spacefaring race. Some were ancient allies like the Valerians, others former enemies like the Dominion, and many were younger civilizations just reaching for the stars. At the center stood a holographic representation of the galaxy, showing the true extent of humanity's hidden influence over millions of years. "For 5 million years," Henderson began, his voice carrying to every corner of the vast chamber, "humanity served as the hidden guardians of this galaxy. We watched civilizations rise and fall, guided evolution on countless worlds, and maintained the balance between progress and preservation." River stepped forward, activating additional displays that showed the countless worlds humanity had seeded with life. "But we never intended to remain hidden forever. The galaxy is entering a new age, one that requires cooperation rather than competition, wisdom rather than warfare." The holographic display shifted, revealing vast networks of ancient human technology, dormant but ready to be awakened. "We offer you not dominion," Henderson continued, "but partnership. The knowledge of 5 million years, shared not through conquest, but through understanding." Kelm, now the Valerian Federation's chief scientific advisor, addressed the assembly. Some have asked why humanity chose this moment to reveal themselves. The answer lies in the pattern they identified millions of years ago: the drive to expand, to dominate, to impose order. By revealing themselves as they did, humanity broke that pattern forever. In the year since the Dominion incident, the galaxy had changed dramatically. The knowledge that an ancient race had guided their development had initially sparked fear and resistance. But as humanity shared more of their history, their mistakes, their wars, their choice to become guardians rather than conquerors, understanding grew. "We offer you membership in the Guardian Accord," River announced, "not as subjects, but as equals, each civilization bringing its own wisdom, its own perspective, to the greatest challenge we have ever faced." The holographic display expanded, showing something that made even the most advanced races gasp: images of other galaxies, other forms of life, other challenges that waited beyond their own spiral arm of space. "The true test," Henderson said solemnly, "lies not in conquering our galaxy, but in preparing it for what lies beyond." Humanity spent 5 million years ensuring life would flourish here. Now we ask for your help in protecting it. One by one, the representatives of 1,000 worlds stood. The Dominion Emperor, humbled but wiser, was among the first. "We have seen the power of true guardians," he declared. "The Dominion Empire joins the Accord." Others followed: the Valerian Federation, the Stellar Concordat, the Deep Space Collectives, each bringing their own strengths, their own technologies, their own dreams of what the galaxy could become. As the assembly concluded, Iris approached Henderson and River. 5 million years of preparation, she marveled. Was this the outcome you hoped for? River smiled, watching the representatives of a united galaxy begin their first true collaboration. "No," she said softly. "This is better than we hoped. For the first time, we're not just guardians watching from the shadows. We're part of something greater." Henderson nodded, his eyes on the star-filled viewport where ships from 1,000 worlds moved in harmony. "The age of hidden guardians is over," he declared. "The age of shared wisdom begins." Above them, Earth shone like a jewel in space, no longer a primitive world hiding ancient secrets, but the birthplace of a new galactic civilization. One founded not on conquest or competition, but on the shared responsibility of guardianship over the cosmic garden humanity had tended for so long. The galaxy's elders had finally welcomed their children home.